Hello everybody, once again welcome to our how to create a desktop calculator course series. Come think of it, this is where we ended in our previous video, and I'll be leaving a link here in the description regarding as to how to download Inno Setup and also install the Inno. Also, we also talk about how to also configure, how do you call it, our PHP desktop Chrome. I'll be leaving all the link in the description. You can just go and take it step by step for you to get the whole understanding, so that at the end of the day you just get here. Now, before we move on with how to convert our code, or more or less create or compile our code to a desktop application, I would like to throw light on something for us to understand step by step. Let's dive straight to our PHP desktop Chrome folder. Then I'm going to explain something there for you to just take this tip. As I told you, do not escape this lesson, and at the end of the day you're going to learn something tricky here, and it's going to help you out there. Let's get started. Okay, welcome back. So as you can see now, I'll go ahead and close my Inno window. So I'll close that. So after closing my my Inno window, I'll go ahead and then go directly to my PHP desktop Chrome folder, which is here. Double click on it. Then when I double click on it, I'll go ahead and refresh it, and that is just that. Now when I double click on this particular folder here, you can see that at the end of the day my application will launch nicely, as you can see here. So this is my calculator, as you can see on your screen, and we went ahead and talked about when you click on 999, so 999, press the delete key to delete one after the other. Fine, but there's something I'd like to talk about. When you watch very carefully, you see that where we have Armstrong calculator, this very section, you realize there's some icon here. Okay, so let's assume that you have an icon, and you want your icon to represent your app. So how can you go ahead and configure your icon to show on your title bar, and also to represent your application? So I'm going to show you how to do that. First, I'd like us to dive directly to Canva. So as you can see on your screen, I'm in my Google now. So I'll go ahead and then go to Canva. So I'll come to my search here and type Canva. So as you can see there, so this is my Canva, and click on this very link here. We know now what's Canva, so click on it. So as you can see, I've already logged in already. So if you have your your Gmail, you can just log in with your Gmail and you are good to go. So here I'll come to the search button here, remember, and I'll search what logo, so LOGO. So after searching for logo, you can see there are some couple of logo here. So because this whole thing, I'd like us to use a free source, so we're going to select a free logo and then customize it to our liking. So come think of it, I'll scroll down here and select something that suits my brand. So like A here, Armstrong, it is cool. So I'll select this very one here. So double click on it. So let's select this one. I love this one. So I love this one. So let's select this very one. So I click on this and click on custom these templates. So after clicking on custom this template, what I will do is that I'll go ahead and custom it, of course. So I'll maintain this as this. So you can choose to do that, or you can decide to just take this off and maintain this as your logo. So let me just expand it nicely. Okay, so this is okay for me for representing my logo. Then after that, what I will do is that I like to take off the background. So I'll select and press delete and take off the background. So after taking off the background, what I'll do again, I'll just go directly and then download it. How can I download it? It's very simple. Just come to where we have the share button here, click on share, and just go ahead and then select something we call download. So when I click on the download, default is always for PNG, but don't worry, go ahead and click on download. So after the download is done, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and copy that and put it on my desktop for you guys to see how it has been done. Anytime something is being downloaded, thing goes to, how do you call it, your download folder. So I'll just switch fast forward and copy that from my download folder and paste it on my desktop. So after it has finished downloading, what I'll do is that I'll minimize my window and minimize my window also. So this is my calculator. I'll go ahead and close the calculator. To my PHP desktop Chrome folder and double click on where we have the www, double click on it, and then I'll create a folder name. I'll create a folder and name the folder logo. So I'll come here and click on right click on the window, go to new and click on folder. Then I'll type logo. I'll prefer that in small letters. So logo, and go ahead and double click on the logo and paste it here. Then I'll right click on that and change the name, of course, and I'll call it Armstrong. But don't worry, there's something I'll teach you. Now, I've pasted it here. Someone will ask, so will it work? No, wait, I'm going to show you something. Now, when you paste it here, the truth is that this image is what is PNG. So as it is PNG, I'd like us to then convert it from PNG to icon. Okay, so how do we convert this image from PNG to icon? Now, to do that, let's dive straight to our browser. So as you can see, I am in my browser. I'll go and click on a new tab here. So in the search button here, I'll go ahead and say PNG to let's say icon. So icon converter. You see it here, click on it. So as I've clicked on it, I'll scroll down here, this very one, okay, this very one here, this very link. Go ahead and click on that. So as I've clicked on this very link here, now this will convert your PNG, how do you call it, image to an icon. It can be your face. You can convert it to an icon and it will work perfectly for you. So I'll show you how to do this step by step as I just told you. So go ahead and click on, we have add image. You can drag and drop your icon or your PNG file here, and then it convert it to an icon. Let's get how that is being done. So I'll come here and click on this and then select my icon. But hey, remember I created a folder named logo in my www folder. So I'll go to my www folder. There's a folder here called logo. I'll double click on that and that will be open. Then I'll select my Armstrong logo here and click on open. Remember, it's PNG. So after that, I'll go ahead and click, wait a while, and the convention will be done. Let's wait for it for a while. You can see the convention is done. So you see save all. So I'll go ahead and click on save all and it will download that for me. So I'll click on it and that will take me to my folder here. You can see we have Armstrong 1 because I already have one here. So I'll go ahead. So you have Armstrong 1. So I'll go ahead and then cut this and go to my folder. Know that the Lolo in the www folder here and delete this one and paste this. And I will name this as Armstrong. And when you send a mouse pointer to it, you can see that it is icon. So that is the file extension. So after taking that from the way, now we want we want this to work for us in this manner. When we go to the PHP desktop Chrome by double clicking on it, we want more or less the icon should display here on the title bar, because that would suit our brand because we are building a desktop app. So now, as we understand this, what I'd like us to do is that we need to close this and go to setting.json. So here in your folder, just come to where we have setting.json. So just right click on it and click on open with, and remember choose application. I have a couple of text editors. So remember I started with Sublime Text with you guys. So I make sure I select Sublime Text. So this is my Sublime Text, click on OK. So after I click on A, this is my setting.json. Remember, this is the name I gave to the app. So when it comes to where we have main window and we have icon in line 14 in here, you have to then indicate the image source, which is the logo source. So when I go to my folder, I am in my folder, when I come to the www folder, in the www folder where I'll find my logo. So I'll double click on my logo. As my logo is there, so you can see it is the logo. This image is in what is in logo folder in the www folder. So without wasting my time, what I will do is that I'll just go ahead and copy this, which is the what www, okay, / I'll change that in the code, copy that, and come to my Sublime text, paste that there, and change it to /, and in the / I have my what Armstrong. So here I'll bring the file extension. So this is what is .ico. Okay, so that is the file extension. So for you to know this file extension, let's go to the folder. Let me show you how you can get get to identify the file extension. So I'll open my folder in the my logo folder. All right, click on it and click on properties. And when you click on property, you can see this is the file extension, which is .ico. So as you know that this is the file extension, I'll close that and switch to my Sublime text. So in my Sublime text, which is settings.json, you can see I just say in www folder, you find a folder known as logo. In the logo, the name of the logo is called Armstrong.ico, being the file extension. Well, that is not done. Now, after you're done here, scroll down here and come to where we have pop-up window. This very one here. Go ahead and copy the source here. Copy that. Come down here and come to where we have pop-up window. So where is it? Okay, yeah. So pop-up window, just bring the mouse pointer here and paste that. So after you've pasted that, so in the pop-up window, we have icon here. The icon is going to be this, that. Done. So after we are done, we are good to go. So I'll go ahead and click on file and click on save. So as I've clicked on file and click on save, when I go to my folder, which you will see, I'll go back and click on the www folder and go back and click on the PHP here. So as I'm in the php.chrome, so far as 75.0 is concerned, I'll scroll down and come to where I have my PHP desktop Chrome, the icon here. Double click on it to launch my app. So when I double click, you see here now the name, my icon is there as capital A. That represents my icon. Like most of the time, when you see you guys, when you launch an application like Microsoft Word or maybe how do you call it, Photoshop, you can see down some of the Photoshop always indicate that PS. Okay, so you can see this icon is showing here as well. That is my icon, and more or less. So we are going to show you how you can also customize that in your Inno setup. Now, taking that from the way, as we are okay there, now I'm going to close my app and left that straight to the Inno setup. So now, as I am on my desktop, you can see after the installation, this is the icon you are going to see. As I told you guys, I'll be leaving a link in the description regarding to how we installed Inno setup compiler. So here you can see where we have the Inno setup icon. Double click on it to be open. Now it is open. So we are creating a new app. We are going to use the Windows setup to generate a setup for our application, and then we'll install it or copy it and give it to friends and family to install it on their PC. Now we would like to use wizard. So instead of clicking on what we have, create a new empty script file, select what we have, create a new script file using the wizard or the script wizard. So I'll select create a new script file using the script wizard. So select that and go ahead and click on OK. So it's open for you. Don't worry, just go ahead and click on next here. So what name do you want to give your application? Now let me show you. Let's go to the Sublime text. I'll show you something. Now in our Sublime text, you realize that we give a name to our index file as Armstrong calculator. So that's the name we give to it. When it comes to the settings.json here, you can see that the name we give to it is Armstrong calculator. So that's the name I would like to give to my application or my app. So now let's go back to the Inno window. So in my Inno window, you can see where we have application name. So I'll go ahead and name it let's say Armstrong calculator, which I'll join it like this. You can space it anyhow you want it. So Armstrong calculator. So now application version, you can see that most of the time people will just build an application. This application is 7.5 and so on and so forth. Now I'll call this application, I'll just call it 7.0. What else I want to call it? So you can also choose to call it anyhow you want it. So now, what is the company that built this application? So the name of the company is Armstrong. Okay, Armstrong Computers. So if you want to brand it, you have to put the name of your company here. That means that it is you guys who build the application. So here is the name of my my company. So here, this is what our website. So if you have a website, you can put your website URL here and you are good to go. So I have a website, so I'll just go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to call it, let's say, Armstrong Computers.org. So that is it, armstrongcomputers.org. So that is okay. So when you do all this and you are here, that means we are together. Let's dive straight to the next segment. So the next segment, we are just going to go directly and click on next. So after clicking on next here, well, someone asks, so what will you do here? Just don't worry, just leave everything here as it is and let's go. So just go ahead and click on next again. After I click on next here, you need to specify, how they call it, the folder in which the application is in. So here I need to select my file. So I'll go ahead and click on what we have, add folder, and you can see on my desktop here, on my desktop I have my PHP here. So that's my PHP, and in my PHP contain my www folder. So I'll go ahead and click on OK and click on yes, and that will be inserted. So here we want the application, we have what is the application with main executable file. So I'll click on browse and go and select the application main executable file, where I will just go to my desktop and I have my PHP, double click on it, and this is the main executable file. I'll go ahead and click on open, and that is already there. Go ahead and click on next. So now if I click on next here, you maintain this as it is, don't do anything here. So basically that is just that. Now we have application file type. Now remember, we are creating executable file. So as we are creating executable file, we have to make it .exe. So that's the executable file. So to do that, just put the cursor here. You see, highlight on the MYP and maintain the dot as it is and say exe. That is executable file that we are creating. Go ahead and click on next. So maintain it as it is because we want to create a shortcut. So far as the icon is concerned, go ahead and click on next. So here, if you have something we call a license file that you want to include in what's in your application, that when people get to it will expire, the license will expire, they'll have to contact you back, you can do that here. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'd like you to get everything step by step. So let's escape this. So we go to click on next. Now here, we want the installation should be installed through the admin section. So we maintain here, if you want to install from admin section, so we maintain as it is and click on next. So after you click on next, so here you can see we have what's window, and this talk about the important, where everything is down, where you want it to import it to. Okay, so you can equally select the file that it to import it to, and then you are good to go. If you don't have anything, just let it go and click on next. So here, which languages do you want? The language to be English or whatever? Well, I always prefer, when I'm building an application, think about other people also. Okay, so I'll select all. But if you know you don't have all, you can decline all and select only English, and you are good to go. But I want that when they are doing the installation, they can select from a language, and it will just convert everything to everybody's language, so everybody can just use the app. So I'll just select all and then click on next. Now here, the output folder, that when the application, the Inno, then compile the entire application, the folder that you should compile it to. Okay, so that is the output folder. So I'll click on here and click on browse. When I click on browse, I'll select my desktop. You can choose to select the desktop and click on OK, or you create a folder on your desktop where you select that particular folder and the output goes to that particular folder. So after I select my desktop here, I'll click on new, and I want to call this as Armstrong. Okay, so I'll click and add the CAC like So that is how I want to call it. So I'll select that folder and click on OK. So it's going to compile it into that particular folder. If you want it to in your desktop, you select your desktop and the compiler will just be done into that particular desktop. So done. The next one I'd like us to look at is for the setup. How do you want to call the setup? Now I want to call it, let's say, my setup. You can leave it as a default, but you can choose to also do it Armstrong setup or Armstrong calculator setup. So I'll maintain as Armstrong calculator setup. So that's how I want to call it. So I'll change the S here to cap. So that is now so Armstrong calculator setup. So you can also do that and you're good to go. Now let's come here. We have custom setup icon file. So here you can browse and select the custom icon file. So remember, in our www folder, that's where we have our icon. So I'll go ahead and click on browse and go to my www folder, select my folder here, select my icon, click on open, and voila, the URL will just be there. So that's what you do. You go by that to just input the icon there. Now, after taking that from the way, the next thing is what? Let's set up password. Let's say when users are about to install the application, you want them to type a particular password before the application will execute. So far as what the installation is concerned, you can choose to do that. Well, for the sake of this video, let me do this for you guys to see how that is being done. You can also choose to ignore it. So if you want to do that, you can just go, let me do randomly. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. It's okay. Well, any digit that you want to use as a password, set up password, you can do that. So I'll just use 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So when the user who I'm building this app for, so far the calculator is concerned, type 1 2 3 4 5 6, then the installation can begin. So I just go ahead and click on next, and go ahead and click on next, and click on finish. Click on yes, and click on no. So the compiler will begin. So it's compiling. So let's wait for it for a while. Okay, so as you can see on your screen, you can see it is written a compile output. That means that the compiling has been successful. So everything is successful. Well, let's test. Let's look at something. So if you want to save the script, you can save the script, or you can also ignore. So I'll go ahead and close this and say I don't want to save it. So after closing that, on my desktop, you can see here where I have here, you can see I created a folder known as what ARMCCAP, like strong. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you know better. You know how to pronounce it better. Okay, that's just better. So when I double click on this particular how do you call it, a folder here, you can see that I have my setup here and the icon is there nicely, and it is known as what Armstrong calculator setup. Well, let's run this application on our computer to see how effective it will be. So I'll right click on it and click on run as admin, and click on what English. I'll select, you can select any language, but I want English. I'll select English. So as I just said, you are building an app for everybody, so you have to make sure that your app will run worldwide. You can select any language. You know that for you, and then I mean, when the person is in France and do that, everything's going to convert to France. I'm just saying. So click on OK. So here you can see that as we were compiling the whole code, we then assign a password to it. So it's requesting for a password. Remember, the password is from 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So I'll go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So that is just done. I'll click on next so that the installation will proceed. So the default installation is going to be on what my program file. So I can just do that and maintain as it is and click on what next. But if you want to change the location, you can equally do that, and then you are good to go. I'll go ahead and click on next. So if I want to create a shortcut icon on the desktop, I'll select what create a shortcut icon. Now remember that we focus on what the desktop of our icon. So we want our icon here to also display on the desktop for us to see whatever we've done is effective. So I'll select create a desktop icon on my desktop. So go ahead and click on next and click on install for the installation to begin. So done, my installation has been successful. So if I want to launch it, I'll just click on finish for it to launch automatically. But if you want to close it before launching, anyhow you want to launch it, you can do that and launch. But hey, because of the sake of this video, I'll maintain as it is and click on finish for it to launch automatically. So you can see my app has launched successfully as it is here. And then I click on, let's say 9 plus 1 equal to 10. So let's say minus 4 equal to 6. So times 1 or maybe 5 equal to what, 30. So delete is gone and delete is gone. So basically that is just that. So basically that is just that. Now there's something I'd like to talk about. Now when I minimize my and close my application, you can see here where we have this icon. So you can see the icon of the application here has not changed. So what can we do for this icon to change? Now you can right click and click on, let's say, properties, and go ahead and then select where we have choose icon and click on browse, and go ahead and then select your www folder. It's great. Remember that this is in a particular folder known as what let's say program file. So I just go directly and go to my program file. So go to this PC and go to local disk and go to where we have program file here, and I'll have Armstrong calculator here, and this is this is it here. But don't worry, I'll click on www and select my logo, select this logo, click on OK, and click on OK again, and click on OK, and the icon will change to this icon. But don't worry, I'll be teaching you another method of how you can do this, and without not going into this long process. They're just and you enjoy it. So basically that is just that. So this is when I double click here, this will be my setup here. You can see it here. It's nice and slow, and you see it here, Armstrong calculator with the icon here. You can just install it. So that is how you can just do for your icon to represent your setup. So basically that is just that. And I hope this lesson that's a lesson, don't mind me. I hope this lesson has helped you, and catch you in the next series so far as what Armstrong computers and tech programs are concerned. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you another time so far as another series is concerned. Bye bye.